All right. All right. I don't know why it did that. I checked it. Anyway, so I am, again, since this is a new video here, I will say that I am Stampin' Dee Dee, and this is Stampin' Thursday, and today we are going to look at Fields in Bloom. And this is such a fun stamp set. One that I sort of rediscovered. I didn't realize, I passed over it multiple times. And I'm not sure why I had passed over it. But anyway, this is it, Fields in Bloom. It's just a stamp set. No dies needed. It is on page 85 in your catalog, and it is a $24 stamp set. So for an investment of $24, I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can use this stamp set. Thank you if you're watching me. I am sorry that I had to restart. I don't know why that came up sideways. I just sometimes don't understand why my computer does what it does, my phone. And I'm sure it was operator error somewhere along the way. But thank you for tuning back in and for watching. And if you're watching me live, let me know. Please comment. Let me know that you are watching this live. And if you're watching the replay, I love to hear from you too. And thank you for doing that. Or on YouTube. I love to hear from you. I love to know who's watching and where you're from. I love to know if you have the stamp set and if you've used it. So please comment, smiley face, thumbs up, especially on YouTube. That really helps my videos to be more available. All right. So Fields in Bloom. Here's what we have. We have these stamps. One thing I love about this set are the clouds. I love that there are clouds in here because those can be used on so many other cards, as well as a bird. I always tend to be drawn to the stamp sets that have birds in them because I use them on so many other cards. So what this is, you have the greenery and then you have the blooms, which makes it so easy to add color to this card. So let me show you. So this is the greenery. I'll set this right here. And I've got a piece of just cardstock. Basic white cardstock. And I have my Old Olive ink pad. And I'm going to stamp up my stamp with my Old Olive. Okay, and I am going to grab a foam mat and put it in. Since this is a photopolymer stamp set, I always try to use a foam mat. All right, now we can go either way with this. I'm going to go this way this time. All right, and so I'm going to bring my... make sure that everything stamps. There we go. Look at that field of greenery already. Let me grab my chamois here and add a little water to it, which I should have done in advance. Clean off my stamp because we are going to use it again in a minute. So I'm going to put it, I've got to put my hand in the ink at least once. So I should put my Old Olive away so I don't put my hand in it anymore. And now I'm going to get out Poppy Parade. So this is going to be for the flowers. The Poppy Parade for the flowers. I'll put it just like I had the other one. I'm going to ink it up. Usually when I have a large stamp like this, I go from pad to stamp. Otherwise, I reverse that. I go from stamp to pad. But I want to make sure this all gets covered. And now I'm gonna close my ink pad so I don't put my hand in it. Now, it is not hard to line it up because you've got these open spaces here, and you just put the flowers in the open spaces, and the rest of it sort of falls into place. Yeah, this is right. Okay, you're gonna see how this is just gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that field of flowers. Is that not beautiful? I love it. I love flowers. I have my windows in here open to the backyard where I'm watching butterflies and hummingbirds get nectar from the flowers, and I love flowers, so naturally I'm going to love this stamp set. All right, I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to do some clouds. So the clouds, the shady part, goes on the bottom. I'm going to put it toward the top here. And the curve, the scalloped part goes on the top. And I'm going to use Smoky Slate for my clouds. Now, you could either uh-oh, my cloud came off. I'm going to do these without stamping off, and we'll see. All right, I'm going to put clouds here. Look at the clouds. And another set of clouds here. Oh. Now, if you stamp off your dark, it'll be lighter. But I chose not to for my clouds today. Maybe a storm is brewing. I don't know. Now I'm going to use my bird. And I'm actually going to get a smaller block for my bird. And I'm still going to use my Smoky Slate. So I'm going to put a bird here and a bird here. Yeah, they're flying south. And that still leaves plenty of room for any sentiment I might want to add. So that is all I'm going to do on this one. You also have a single flower with the greenery and the flower. And you could stamp that onto the edge. Or you could, we'll do this. I'm going to do the greenery first. Get a different block. Get my old olive. If you want it to match what you've used, then you could also do this when you have it open. I just didn't. So I'm going to do my greenery. So you could do this and fussy cut it and add it to your card, and you'll see where I did that on one of my samples. Or use it directly on your card if you've got a different, if you're only using a portion of this. So let me get my Poppy Parade out again. And again, you're just going to put the petal, the blooms in the white spaces. And it lines up beautifully. It really does. Looky there. It lines up beautifully. Okay. All right. So if I wanted to use that, I would fussy cut it and add it somewhere on the card. Somewhere, you know, somewhere. But this was just to demonstrate to you how this stamp set is used. And now I want to show you some card samples. So here's the first one I did. I just stamped the scene with the clouds and one bird and my sentiment. And I used, oh, what is that from? It's one of my new sets. A Spotlight on Nature. That's it. It's because I haven't used it very much. The Spotlight on Nature dies. Oh my goodness, look at these dies. You get all of these dies, all these round dies. And I think I used this one right here to cut this. And then I just popped it up, used a little ribbon, and called it done. On the inside, I did stamp the clouds and the birds again. So that's one of the cards. And on this one, I decided to emboss a card front, add a little bit of Designer Series paper. Again, I used my Spotlight on Nature die. Let's see, which one on this one? I used this. I used that one right there to cut this one out. And on this one, I did fussy cut my little flower down here and added it just as a point of interest and with sympathy. Again, I stamped my flower inside. So another way you can do it, to just spotlight a portion of the card. Then on this one, I cut it into 3, I think they were 1.5 inch pieces. Let me see. Yep. I cut it 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Made my mat, the old olive mat, a little bit wider, and positioned them on the card front. I popped them up. These are popped up. And again, a sentiment and a little bit of ribbon. And I just think, I love that card. I love the way it flows from one panel to the next. Again, I did the cloud and the birds inside. And then my 4th sample is using triple time stamping. Now, this is an old technique. Oh, I did this probably 10 years ago, the first time I did it. And I loved it then, and I love it now. I love the way it flows with each section matted. And I love how it works with this set. I love that. So, I thought for the card that I'm going to demonstrate, that I would demonstrate with the triple time stamping. So let me hold on just a minute. I printed off my triple time stamping instructions, my measurements. So hold on a minute. I have to get my measurements. I thought I had them right here. Okay. I need to grab my measurements. So 1 minute while I do that, you can be looking at my samples. I can't imagine what I might have done with that. I'll look over here one more time, because I know I printed it off. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So, hang on just a minute, and I'm going to grab my measurements. I have to go to one of my folders. All right, triple time stamping. There it is. All right. So with triple time stamping, let me grab a piece of paper here. Your card base is 8.5 by 5.5. And then your mat sizes are 3.25 by 4.5, 2.25 by 3.5. And that's with cardstock. And then your white layers are 4 by 5.25, 3 by 4.25, and 2 by 3.25. All right. So now I need to go back to you. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a sample card with triple time stamping. Let me move these away. You know, I thought these made great sympathy cards, and I have needed sympathy cards lately. I have needed a lot of sympathy cards. So I felt like this particular stamp set did a great job with that. All right. So we have 8.5 by 5.5. And I think I'll write these on a Post-it note and stick it on here. You can go to my blog, stampinddspot.blogspot.com. And I put everything on my blog that I do on my Facebook Lives. It may be this afternoon before I get it up, but all the measurements will be there. So 8.5 by 5.5 for the card base, scored at 4.25. It's just our normal, typical card base. All right. Then your cardstock layers, and I did the same color as my base. Now you can do it a different color if you want to, but I think it flows better if it's the same color. So your two cardstock mats are 3.25 by 4.5. So we have one 3.25 by 4.5, and then 2.25 by 3.5. Those are our mats that we're going to use. And then your white is going to be 4 by 5.25, 3 by 4.25. I want to write these down for you because I thought I had it. I don't know. And 2 by 3.25. So this is your white cardstock. And we have those right here. So these obviously coordinate with your mat sizes. There we go. These coordinate with your mat sizes. But what we're going to do, we're going to set the mat and the card base aside right now. And we're going to take our 3 mat sizes, and I'm going to use just a tiny touch of adhesive to put these together. So just the tiniest touch of adhesive. I mean, that should be plenty. And I want to center it as best I can. Center it. And put another tiny touch. Center that. And then again, you want to use your black mat. All right, now I'm going to use my stamps. So I'll start with my greenery. And what you want to be sure and do is fill up the space. You want to overlap. Let me get this on straight. You want to overlap all 3 card levels if you can. And I may not be able to do that with the first thing I use, but I know I'll be able to do it with my clouds. There's more flexibility there. So this is my greenery. And I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to position this where it overlaps at the bottom. So there's going to be greenery on all 3 pieces. And I want to mash good because you're going from one piece of cardstock to the other, and sometimes it doesn't transfer as smoothly as you'd like it to. So we're going to go with that. You can see where it didn't the levels, the different levels of the cardstock sort of throw it off, and so it doesn't transfer quite as well. But that's why we have a mat, and that's where the mat comes in. All right, now we're going to take our blooms, and I'm going to use my Gorgeous Grape for this. Get my blooms covered here. Okay, this is called triple time stamping. An old method, an old technique. All right, and so I'm going to line these up now. I want to make sure they're Make sure I've got them in the right places. And I do, and then I'll set it down, and especially where the cardstock layers go from one to the other, I'm pressing down on that. Let's see what this does. There we go. So you can see how it, yeah, that's scooted a little bit, but that's all right. You know, it's going to be fine. That's the wonderful thing about this triple time stamping is, especially with this stamp set, it just does beautifully. And you know, if I wanted to come in, let me put this away. If I wanted to come in and add a little touch of greenery right there, I could do that. I could do that with my old olive pen, my blend. I could come in. I'd want to do it with the dark though. But really, it's not going to need it. I'm just showing you if you're one of those that you could come in right here. But it's not going to show. I mean, it really is not going to show. So let's don't even think about that. All right, now we're going to come in with our clouds. And you want the solid part on the bottom, the fluffy part on top. We'll use our Smoky Slate ink. Stamp it up, ink it up. And I think for this card, now see, I've got a little bit of ink on my block, and it's probably okay, but I don't want to take the chance. So I'm going to cover all 3 layers with this, with my clouds, and I'm going to do it again over here. I'll cover all 3 layers. There we go. And then we're going to add our birds. Put my stamp back. Get my little stamp for my bird. And we're going to put a bird here. Over those 2 layers. Another one, my sentiment can probably go right there. So I'm going to put another bird right there. All right. So we're done with the stamping. And now we're going to create our triple time card. So it's time to bring our cardstock layers back in. And all we're going to do is mat them. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to add adhesive to it, to the back. Add it to this layer, get it on as straight as I can. Move it up just a little bit. All right, we're going to call that good. And then I'm going to take my next layer and ink it up, or not ink it up, put adhesive on it. And add it to this layer. It's pretty even right there. There we go. And now we're going to put this one on our base. You know, if you prepare several sets of these and stamp them all at once, it makes it so easy to do a group of cards. And you can adjust your measurements. Now, I don't have mine adjusted for a smaller card, but you could. All right, so now we've got our base. We're going to add this to our base. I've also done it with dimensionals before. I didn't think dimensionals would look that great with this one, so I didn't with this one. But now I'm going to look at my images and just adjust it to the flow of my images. And see, I told you that it really doesn't matter about the edges. So I've got my bird, the clouds, the flowers, and our last one. Here we go. Let's get the clouds just right. There we go. And the flow of the hill. Now, you can really barely tell that there's anything. There's a little vacant spot here and right there, just the tiniest little bit. The tiniest little bit. So we can add a sentiment to this. Let's see. I'll just add a happy birthday on this one, which is what I did on one of the other ones. This is where I keep all my spare white, all my scraps. And oh my goodness, I use from this all the time. I'm trying to find one that's about the right size. Let's see. Yeah, this one's good. And a happy birthday I'm going to use is from Beach Day, because it is a happy birthday that is all in one line as opposed to two lines. So I do use this one frequently on a card like this. And I'm going to get my black Memento ink. Ink it up. Come on. Stamp it close to the bottom. So I only have to trim it once. I'll bring my trimmer in. Trim this scrap down. There we go. I'll get my snips. Whoops. And try to even it up. Let's see how I want to do this. I could do it from here to here or from over here. I think I'll do it from over here. I did that, I think, on my other one. And then I'm going to banner this end. And I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more and banner it. You snip to the middle and then from each corner. And I'm going to use dimensionals on this to pop it up. Okay, I think two ought to do it. Happy birthday. I'm going to put it right at the edge of the white. And I'm going to come on, put it down just a little bit so it doesn't hide my bird. Now, you see, if I wanted to, I could stretch it across here and hide those white spots if I was worried about that. There we have that. I could also add ribbon, gems to it, but there it is. There's our card. Triple time stamping. So easy to do. So very easy to do. And I did one more triple time stamping with another set. I'm featuring the Fields in Bloom, but I thought this set also was really good for the triple time stamping. And this is the Citrus Blooms, the Mediterranean Bloom Suite. So I did add some gems, some sequins here. But that triple time stamping is an awesome way to create a card. But more importantly, I wanted to focus on the Fields in Bloom. So let me put these back out for you. So many ways. Whoops, that one's upside down. To use this stamp set. And you don't have to have a die machine, you know, to do this one. just your trimmer. If you wanted to use dies, of course you could, but you could also use a punch to do your sentiments, because some of us don't have the dies yet. But this is a great way to make a $24 purchase and have your stamp set and create beautiful cards. Well, I think that's it. I hope I have encouraged you to take a look at Fields in Bloom and to try triple time stamping. These are your measurements for triple time stamping. And it will be on my blog, stampinddspot.blogspot.com, in just a couple of hours. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hi, Kay. Thank you for watching, and you know I'm praying for y'all. So thank you for doing that, for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Hi, Sheila. Sheila's watching too. Awesome. You girls go try this out. All right. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Thursday. Oh, no, I meant to tell you, not next Thursday. I will not be doing a Stampin' Thursday next week. Our daughter and grandkids will be here, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to put a free tutorial on this webpage on Stampin' Dee Dee's Doing, so be sure and look for that. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.